Previously on Pinkamena. Pinkie Pie went looking for Rainbow Dash. Twilight tells Pinkie that she's at Rarity's. Pinkie Pie goes to Rarity and finds Rainbow Dash. She tells Dash that she has something fun planned for them, something to die for. Rainbow Dash, not knowing Pinkie's motives, arrives at Sugar Cube Corner where Pinkie tells her that she'll bake. After eating a pre-made cupcake, Rainbow Dash passes out. She awakens in a basement, where she is strapped down on a metal slab. Pinkie tells her that she'll literally be baked. After Pinkie Pie sings, "I Can't Decide," she goes out for a walk and captures Rarity. Pinkie Pie puts her in a pit after she cuts off her horn. Pinkie then zaps Rainbow Dash with electricity before bringing Rarity into the room to see her. Pinkie then pulls a pony out of the back room and cuts her eyes out. Afterwards, Pinkie slits the pony's throat in front of Rainbow Dash. Meanwhile, Twilight goes to Manhattan to ask Trixie for help. Twilight and Trixie arrive back in Ponyville. When they got there, they go to the mayor's house to find out that she had been brutally murdered. They get the help of the Princess Celestia's royal guards and investigate Sugar Cube Corner. They find a note left by Pinkie Pie that says she has taken Fluttershy. This is the moment Twilight decides to spring the trap. Trixie lets herself get captured and taken to Pinkie Pie's hideout, where she subsequently frees herself using her newfound magic. She then narrowly escapes by jumping through a living room window. After ending up in the Hoofington Hospital, Trixie has the nurse send a message to Celestia to let Twilight know that Pinkie Pie is in Hoofington. Pinkie Pie visits Trixie in the hospital and tries to kill her. Twilight goes to visit her, causing Pinkie Pie to retreat. Pinkie Pie loses it even more and decides to just kill every pony she captured. Twilight and Trixie come up with a rescue and find out the origins of Pinkamena. They also figure out that Pinkie Pie was brainwashed Apple Bloom into thinking killing is fun. The Royal Guard appear and take Pinkie away. Celestia personally thanks Trixie for her help in saving Ponyville. Later, Rainbow Dash, Rarity, and Fluttershy are visited by Twilight and Trixie in the hospital. They receive a package from Pinkie Pie with a note that said, "Dear friends, I just wanted to let you know that I'm alive and well, and traveling Equestria. I'm seeing the sights. I've met some new friends, and have a new home. My life is getting back to normal. Thanks. Love, Pinkamena. P.S. I still know how to throw some killer parties." After reading the letter, Twilight opens the box. Once seeing what's inside, she drops it, spilling blood along with an eyeball. The story continues. The guards pulled Pinkie Pie out of the building she's been in using as her hideout. She was kicking and screaming. They slapped some chains around her legs so she couldn't escape. They then threw her into the back of a chariot. The royal guards took themselves up to the front, and the chariot flew off. Pinkie Pie sat quietly in the back. She looked over the edge of the chariot and saw a lake coming into view. She opened her mouth and raised the chain, which was holding her front legs, to a sharp metal tooth in her mouth. She started sawing away. One of the guards looked back and smirked. "What's so funny?" the other guard asked. "She's trying to chew through the chain." The other guard joined on in the smirking. Pinkie Pie continued to saw through until she felt it about to break. She stopped and pulled up the chain which was holding her back legs. She started to saw away again. The guards looked back. "Don't bother," the guard said. "That chain's just as strong as the other." Pinkie Pie stopped sawing and looked at the guard, narrowing her eyes. The guard turned around and Pinkie continued sawing away. She stopped sawing and sat straight up. The lake was now almost directly beneath them. Pinkie waited a couple more seconds before jerking her legs apart, breaking the chains. The guards immediately looked back in shock. "What?" the guards yelled. Pinkie lunged to the guard on the left and bit his throat, her metal tooth digging deep into his skin, blood pouring out as the guard screamed in pain. She pulled out and then again tore a chunk out of his wing. He stopped flapping his wings and fell, putting more pressure on the other guard. Pinkie sliced the rope with her tooth. The injured guard fell and hit the ground with a thud. The other guard started to fly lower as Pinkie bit into his neck. He screamed as Pinky tore a chunk from his neck. He gurgled as blood came out of his mouth, and Pinky tore a chunk out of his wing as he started to fall. Pinky then jumped and splashed down into the lake. She swam to the edge and climbed out. She then headed over to the crashed chariot and the surviving guard. He was writhing in pain. She just stood over him, looking down. "Please," he said, "just kill me." "Oh, I have something much better in mind," said Pinky. She dug her metal tooth into the guard's chest and sliced him open, blood spraying all over her face as the guard screamed. She scooped out the guard's organs before digging her tooth into the guard's eye socket and plucking out his eye. The guard screamed some more as Pinkie Pie ate his eye. "That was delicious," she said. "So much better than if I had baked you into cupcakes." The guard bled to death as Pinkie feasted off of his dead body. Pinkie Pie stood up and looked down at the mutilated body of Celestia's royal guards. "That was yummy," she said. "I'm going to find more." She looked around to see where she was. To her right, she saw a mountainous region, Canterlot. To her left was more of a bay. She thought she could see a town at the other end. Philadelphia. She grinned and headed off towards Philadelphia. A royal guard burst through the doors of Canterlot Castle. Princess Celestia and Luna were standing in the center of the foyer, talking to each other. They turned and looked at the guard. "Princesses!" the guard yelled. "We have a problem." "What is it?" asked Celestia. "It's Pinkie Pie, Your Highness. She's gone." "What?" asked Celestia. "Are you sure?" "The other two never showed. I went looking. I found their mutilated bodies by the bay, along with the smashed chariot." "This is not good," said Luna. "Where exactly did you find them?" asked Celestia. "The bay near Philadelphia." "Get some of the guards together," Celestia ordered. "Tell them to take her down. We can't risk her killing any more ponies." "Right away, Your Highness," the guard said, running back outside. "Should we tell Twilight and her friends?" asked Luna. "Not right now, little sister. I don't want them to worry. They've already been through enough." Pinkie Pie arrived at Philadelphia. To her advantage, no pony knew who she was. She had also washed off the blood in the bay so as not to attract suspicion. She walked a few feet until she saw a post office. "I should write to the others," she thought aloud, when she saw a pony enter the building. "I don't think a letter will be enough." She followed the pony into the post office. The pony headed to the restrooms. Pinkie Pie stood at the front desk. Sitting behind the front desk was a blue unicorn with yellow hair. She was reading a magazine. "How can I help you?" she asked, looking at Pinkie. "Do you have a box I can have?" she asked. "I have something I want to deliver." "Sure," said the unicorn. "What size?" "Whatever's closest to 8 inches by 8 inches. The unicorn levitated a box and set it on the desk in front of Pinkie. "How's this?" "Perfect," said Pinkie, grabbing a flap on the box with her mouth. "Thank you." The unicorn smiled and looked down at her magazine again. Pinkie headed off to the restrooms. She entered the ladies' room and found that the pony she saw earlier. The pony was the only one in the restroom, besides Pinkie. She was by the sinks, looking to the mirror. Pinkie stepped up behind her and slammed her head into the sink. The pony fell to the floor, unconscious but alive. Pinkie set the box down, and then she grabbed the pony's mane in her mouth and dragged her into one of the stalls. Then she fetched the box and set it down near the pony. Pinkie looked down at the toilet. It was just a round bowl embedded into the floor. Pinkie dragged the pony over to the toilet. The pony started to wake as Pinkie opened her mouth. She dug her metal tooth into the neck of the pony. She only had a split second to scream as Pinkie stabbed her neck. The blood poured out into the toilet bowl, and Pinkie caught some of it in the box, making sure it didn't hit the sides. When she had had enough, she dug her teeth into the pony's eye socket and plucked out her eye. She then set the eye in the blood in the box and closed it. She flushed the toilet to get rid of the blood, and then she left the restroom, pushing the blocks along the floor. She got back to the front desk and stopped. The unicorn looked up. "All set?" she asked. "I sure am," said Pinkie. as the unicorn lifted the box and set it on the desk. "Careful with it, though. It's fragile." "We're very careful." "I'd also like to write a note to go along with the package." "Sure," said the unicorn, picking up a pen and paper. "What do you want it to say?" "Dear friends," Pinky stated, "I just wanted to let you know that I'm alive and well." She paused to think of what else to say. She couldn't say anything to rouse suspicion with the unicorn. "And traveling Equestria. I'm seeing the sights. I've met some new friends in a new home. My life's getting back to normal. Thanks. Love, Pinkamena." She paused for a moment, thinking about the dead body in the bathroom. "P.S. I still throw some killer parties." "Okay," said the unicorn, finishing it up. "Who would you like to send it to?" "To Rainbow Dash and her friends. She should be staying at the Hoofington Hospital." "You're all set," said the unicorn. "Have a nice day." "But could you not say who it's from?" Pinky asked. "I want it to be a surprise when they get it." "That shouldn't be a problem," said the unicorn, pushing a button under the desk. A red Pegasus appeared. "Yes?" "Delivery," said the unicorn. She lifted the package along with the note and set it in the delivery bag that the Pegasus had around her neck. "This goes to Rainbow Dash at the Hoofington Hospital." "Who's it from?" asked the Pegasus. "Anonymous," answered the unicorn. The Pegasus left the building to deliver the message. Twilight and Trixie entered the hospital room. "Hey, girls," said Twilight. "Hey, Twilight," Rainbow Dash, Rarity, and Fluttershy said at once. "How are you feeling?" asked Trixie. "Getting better," said Rainbow Dash. "And thanks for your help." "Don't mention it," said Trixie. "It was nothing." "Are you kidding?" asked Rainbow Dash. "I could have died. And Fluttershy, too." "Here's a package for you," said the nurse pony, handing Twilight a small box. "What is it?" asked Trixie. "Not sure," answered Twilight. She lifted up the note to the box's lid with her magic and read it aloud. "Dear friends, I just wanted to let you know that I'm alive and well and traveling Equestria. I'm seeing the sights. I've met some new friends and have a new home. My life is getting back to normal. Thanks. Love, Pinkamena. P.S. I still throw some killer parties." Twilight and the others just stared, not knowing what had happened. Twilight lifted the box lid with her magic and looked inside. What she saw made her drop the box. Blood poured out of the box, along with an eyeball. "No," said Rainbow Dash. "Not again." "We have to tell the princesses right away," said Trixie. "You got that right," said Twilight, trotting over to Trixie. "We'll be right back," Twilight said to the others. She then teleported herself and Trixie to Canterlot Castle. They burst through the doors. "Princess Celestia!" Twilight yelled, but there was no answer. "Where is she?" asked Trixie. "Maybe we missed her," said Twilight. "Twilight," said a voice. Twilight and Trixie looked towards the front door. Princess Celestia was standing in the doorway. "Princess!" yelled Twilight, running up to Celestia. "What's wrong?" asked Celestia. "It's Pinkie Pie!" yelled Twilight. "She's back!" Celestia paused for a second or two. "I know." "What?" asked Twilight. "You know?" "Yes. I just didn't want to alarm or upset you. You and your friends have been through enough." "What are you doing about it?" asked Twilight. "I've sent a group of royal guards to Philadelphia to stop her at all costs." "Philadelphia?" asked Trixie. "That's not far from here." "Your point?" asked Celestia. "My point?" asked Trixie. "It's likely that if the guards find Pinkie, she'll either attempt to kill them all or flee to the closest town. Here." "She's right," said Twilight. "If the guards fail in killing Pinkie, she'll most likely flee to Ponyville." "Or back to Hoofington," said Trixie. "That is, if she tries to avoid Ponyville altogether." "I'll keep that in mind," said Celestia. "Thank you for your suggestions, but I assure you, if the guards fail and Pinkie returns to Ponyville, we'll be ready."